Hey guys, it is Echo here, and I'm so excited to be back for Season 5 911 Lone Star episode reviews. Today we're going to be talking about episode 5-1 titled Both Sides Now. Now, there was quite a big time jump from where we last left off in Season 4, so there's many changes and lots to talk about, so let's jump right in.
Yeah, he's breathing, Cap. I think the fresh air is helping.
Bravo, Milani.
Showboat.
Voila!
Thank you. Wait, but your ring.
Dude, what are you doing?
I'm helping clear the line.
Are you though?
Are you? Yo, guys, what's going on?
So last season, Judd retired to take care of his son Wyatt after an accident. That is now leaving an open lieutenant position at the firehouse, in which both Paul and Marjan have applied for it. I love this scene of them two showing off their skills and trying to impress Owen. I think it was so funny. I was laughing, my mom was laughing, my dad was laughing. It was a great scene. Now, who wants to know who I'm rooting for? I think they both have different strengths that they can bring to the table. However, personally, I'm Team Marjan. I love Paul, but I'm all about female empowerment and leadership. I love seeing a strong female character being put in a leadership position that mainly men occupy. So, I'm Team Marjan. However, Lone Star loves to throw twists and curveballs, so I'm guessing maybe Judd is going to end up coming back, or some other person will end up jumping in and getting the position. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Competition has really come between the friendship. And I'm worried that, there's gonna be some bitterness between them.
Between them or towards you?
You think this is all about me?
You've lost a lot of people that are close to you, family, friends, and I don't know. It could be the real reason that you're so stuck on this is you don't want to lose nobody.
It's probably not the best idea for Owen to go to Judd for who to replace him, especially when Judd is struggling with finding his purpose, which we will talk about later. I think Judd nailed the real reason Owen is having a hard time making this decision though. Owen was worried it would break Marjan and Paul's friendship, but their friendship is so strong that I'm sure it could weather something like this. However, Owen's real problem is that whoever doesn't get the promotion may resent him and possibly leave. First of all, as someone with a management degree, I just want to advise Owen that he's a captain and being in charge sometimes means making tough decisions. Decisions that people may not be happy about. It comes with the job. Second of all, I think Owen seriously has a problem with being alone and losing those in his circle. Like every season, we've seen this guy in a relationship with a different woman, and each time it doesn't work out. I hope this final season, maybe Owen can learn to be comfortable in being alone. Now, let's switch over and talk a little bit more about Judd.
Jeb came to our church and they were pinning up these pictures of these little kids from the orphanage, and it was, and little kids that the whole world forgot about. But little kids that once Grace saw them, she couldn't forget about them. She knew it was inconvenient. She knew that it was terrible timing, but she felt the touch of.
Sadly, Judd's wife Grace did not return for the final season of Lone Star. Her dispatcher role has now been replaced by Wyatt, Judd's son. I've known for a little while that she wouldn't be back, but it still sucks. Personally, Grace was my favorite female character on the show. Just like with Carlos, I saw a lot of myself in Grace, so I was definitely devastated to hear that she wouldn't be returning. That did leave me wondering how they would write her off. Like, there was no way they could just have her up and leave and divorce Judd. That would not have made sense for her character. Death would have made sense, but it still would have been awful. However, the show chose for her to go on a mercy ship. Now I'm torn. On one hand, this is something I could have seen her doing before she had her daughter Charlie. Now I'm not so sure. I'm not a parent to a human child, but I do have a dog, and I love my dog like a parent loves their human child. I have a hell of a time leaving my dog for like a week just to go on vacation. I can't imagine how Grace could just up and leave her child for that long. Her daughter, who is getting up there in age where I'm gonna guess she's gonna start school soon, like Grace is gonna miss all these milestones. So that's what is really throwing me off here, but I think the writers did the best they could without having to kill off her character. But now let's talk about Judd, because this is going to lead to the purpose chat.
That was taken from me. Every time I felt like waving that white flag. What did you say? You said quit whining.
Get grinding.
You and Grace, you guys pushed me, even when it felt hopeless. I may never be a firefighter. Thanks to you guys, I have a job more meaningful than I could have ever imagined.
So Grace has found her purpose, but now Judd is left questioning what is he to do next. Remember again, Judd left his job to take care of his son Wyatt after the accident he had last season. But now Wyatt no longer needs the help. And other than Judd taking care of his daughter, he's just kind of stuck in limbo. Wyatt completely believes that Judd's purpose is to be a firefighter, but Judd just can't go back easily since he already started collecting pension. I really like this whole storyline of Judd trying to find his purpose at this current point of his life. I feel like I can relate. I question a lot about what my purpose is. Is my job meaningful? It's definitely something I struggle with. But I think Wyatt made a very good point in this scene. Purpose can come from the unexpected. So will Judd find his purpose in the unexpected this season? I'm excited to find out.
Captain Strand, Major Reyes.
Another big thing that has happened this season is Carlos is now a Texas Ranger. Now, if you don't remember last season, Gabriel, Carlos' dad, had came over to the loft offering Carlos a job to work with him at the Texas Rangers. And Carlos had very negative feelings about it. But then his father was murdered. So I'm not sure if Carlos ultimately ended up deciding to become a Texas Ranger to follow in his dad's footsteps and legacy, or if he actually did it to find out who murdered his dad. Now I'm going to be completely honest, I did not want Carlos to become a Texas Ranger. I thought it would take screen time away from my favorite character, and I just simply wanted Carlos to pave his own path. However, I can admit when I'm wrong, and I'm wrong. I love Texas Ranger Carlos Reyes. He had the most screen time in this episode, and now he gets to solve much bigger cases. And to be honest, police, law enforcement, emergency cases are my favorite to watch. Screw fires and car accidents, just give me Carlos solving crime and I'll be happy.
Dad, was his gut ever wrong?
Not once in recorded history.
Exactly. And he believed in you, Carlos.
CXDOT, respond to the 500th block of South Lamar. Signals out all the way to Dade Zavala.
I'm sorry, baby. I have to go.
Why? They said a few traffic lights were out, not that they needed medical for an accident.
Yeah, but now South Lamar is going to be a parking lot, and I'm going to have to take side streets all the way back to the firehouse.
So our first official Carlos scene of the season. Now here they're on lunch, and Carlos is totally preoccupied with the armored car case. In a previous scene, we see Carlos is put into a little competition with Texas Ranger Campbell on solving the case. Ranger Campbell wants to focus on those with military training, and Carlos thinks they should focus on the MO. That is Carlos' gut feeling. Now I love how TK brings up that Gabriel believed in him. It brings back memories from season 2, episode 8, where Carlos struggled to trust his gut instincts. Now I feel like Carlos has grown so much since. Compared to 2-8 and now, he seems much more confident in his professional career. And I think that has a lot to do with knowing that his father did believe in him and was proud of him. And all this leads, thanks to TK, and Carlos realizing that the thieves are creating road accidents to divert the armored trucks to side streets.
It didn't come to us. So all of those sound like non-emergency city service issues? The number for that's 311.
This is Wyatt, my newest dispatcher. He just got his stripes last month.
Congratulations, Carlos Reyes. I've heard a lot about you, actually. I'm a friend of your dad's and Grace.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about you too. You're TK's husband, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the paramedics who saved my life.
Yes, I mentioned earlier that Wyatt is now a dispatcher. When Wyatt found out he could no longer be a firefighter last season, I knew that this would be the route the writers would take for his character. And now with Grace gone, it made the most sense for him to fill that role. And boy, he was just as smart as Grace in that dispatcher role. He helped Carlos and the supervisor realize that the thieves aren't calling 911. No, they are calling 311, the non-emergency service number. Also, can we just mention how I love how Carlos was proud to acknowledge that yes, he is TK's husband. Carlos as a husband definitely looks good on him.
Oh, don't look so confused, boys. You ever heard of an old-fashioned Texas bait car? My, how far we have fallen from grace.
Staff Sergeant Andrew Foster.
How the hell did you know that?
Should really change up your MO.
So Carlos takes all this information back to his boss, and with the help of Campbell, they nail down some potential suspects. And the boss thinks that the best way to catch these guys is to catch them in the act. So yes, Carlos and Campbell pretend to be armored car guards and catch them. Again, I love Texas Ranger Carlos. And I really like this pairing with Campbell and Reyes. I think as the season continues, they are going to work together a lot because they realize from this investigation that they each bring different set of skills, and when they work together, they create magic. I'm very, very excited to continue to see this dynamic play out. Also, can I just point out that the vest Carlos is wearing has the name tag Wilson on it? First of all, Wilson must be the name of the armored car guard that was supposed to be in the vehicle. But second of all, what a coincidence. Raphael just booked a role to play a bartender by the name of Sean Wilson in the upcoming Netflix series The Waterfront. Now, booking a Netflix series is huge, and I couldn't be more excited for Rafa, and I can't wait to meet Sean Wilson. All right, let's take it back to Carlos.
Not for that case.
Oh. For that case.
Yep.
Will you just promise me one thing?
What's that?
That you won't eat your dinner out of a vending machine again tonight?
I won't. Don't wait up for me, okay?
I'll leave a light on for you.
After everything is settled with the armored car case, Carlos calls TK. So first of all, Lutu is back. Lutu is just so adorable, and I really hope Carlos grows to like him. Next, Carlos calls TK to let him know that he won't be coming home until late and to not wait up. This is because Carlos is working late to try and solve his father's murder. I think this is just the beginning of seeing an obsessive pattern in Carlos. I love that Carlos is determined and won't stop at nothing. I truly believe that at some point he will solve his father's murder. But it's probably going to put a wrench in the marriage. TK is trying to be a supportive husband, but TK has needs. At some point, TK will say enough is enough if this behavior continues. I hope that Carlos can find a balance between solving the case and spending good quality time with his husband. So here was my top 5 episodes of 911 Lone Star after the season 4 finale. In number 1, we had 417, Best of Men, and 418, In Sickness and in Health. In number 2, we had 3-4, Push. Number 3 was 4-4, Abandoned. Number 4 was 4-9, Roadkill. And number 5 was 212, The Big Heat. After a year and a half of waiting and watching the season 5 premiere, here is my new top 5 favorite episodes. In number 1, it continues to be 417, Best of Men, and 418, In Sickness and in Health. In number 2, that also continues to be 3-4, Push. In number 3, moving up a slot, is 4-9, Roadkill. And number 4, also moving up a slot, is 212, The Big Heat. And number 5, hopping into this list, is 412, Swipe Left. So the season 5 premiere did not make my top 5. It was a good premiere, but again, there wasn't a wow factor or anything that would have jumped it into my top 5. However, my top 5 did change slightly. I have removed 4-4, Abandoned and replaced it with 412, Swipe Left. Now, I'm probably going to get some hate for removing 4-4. That was the episode in which Carlos was abducted by the serial killer. Rafa nailed the acting, but it's so creepy that I just can't watch it. I guess being abducted by a serial killer is one of my worst fears. On the flip side, 412 was added into my top 5. As a refresher, that episode we saw Marjan get back into the dating field and TK and Carlos have the kid talk. This episode has become my comfort episode. Whenever I just want to relax or cheer myself up, this is the episode I turn to. It only made sense that this would be the episode to replace Abandoned in my top 5. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and let me know in the comments below what you thought about the season 5 premiere. And I'm excited to see you guys next week for the 5-2 episode.